we don't hear in our newspapers about far more threatening things that Russia has done, though. While we're building down the strategic nuclear deterrent. I mean, our nuclear deterrent is over 3 decades old. It's obsolete. We've practically dismantled all our tactical nuclear weapons. Americans haven't been told that, Russia basically has an advantage, a very significant advantage now in the strategic nuclear balance. The thing that enabled us to win, that enabled us to prevent the Cold War from going hot, and that enabled us to avoid a nuclear war during the Cold War was parity, that we maintained a balance of nuclear power. That parity, for the first time in history, is gone. Russia has built and is building, brand new ICBMs, new ballistic missile submarines. We're not building any new things. They've upped the ante. They've greatly increased their spending. It's going up something like 50%.
Wow.
The amount of investment that they're going to be making in their strategic nuclear forces. And the technical nuclear balance is even worse. It practically doesn't exist anymore. They've got something like 8,000 tactical nuclear weapons, and we might have fewer than 200 obsolete tactical nuclear weapons left in NATO Europe, and how effective they are and how workable they are is highly problematical. 8,000 versus 200. It's an overwhelming advantage, and it's no accident that Russia started its aggressions against Ukraine, seizing Crimea, now seizing eastern Ukraine, defying the whole NATO alliance, defying the United States. It's no accident that it started doing these things when it captured the advantage in the strategic nuclear balance. They have this, it's in their theory, it's not just their theory either, it's our theory too, and it seems to prove out true. They've captured the advantage in the highest level of violence. It's called escalation dominance. That if you control the highest level of military violence, which is nuclear weapons, if you control that highest level of warfare that you can engage in at the strategic level, then it's safe for you to commit aggression at the lower levels because your adversaries will be deterred. When they do the calculations and they say, well, should we send troops into Ukraine to fight the Russians? The next question you ask, well, what could they do next?
Right.
Well, they could escalate. Well, how far are we willing to escalate? Will we win? Can we intimidate them when we get up to that level? What if they start throwing tactical nuclear weapons around? The answer is no, we'll lose.
Right.
And therefore, we and our NATO allies, nobody's willing to go into Ukraine, and we shouldn't be willing to do it when the Russians have nuclear escalation dominance, because we'd be walking into potentially a World War III that we would lose. So this is a situation far more worrisome to me than them going into the Arctic. Their aggression in the Arctic is just another example of the fact that they have achieved this escalation dominance, and we're not doing anything to roll it back.
No.
The president wants to even further reduce our strategic nuclear forces. It's almost like he's deliberately removing the United States from being a superpower and playing the role it has played in being the great bulwark for the Western democracies and keeping the peace, since the end of the Cold War. And I don't know what he's thinking, if that's really part of his what his intention is. There have been some good analyses of his psychology by Dinesh D'Souza, who's written books and movies suggesting that our president sees America as being, more of a problem in the world than a solution to the world's problems, and that he's deliberately scaling back our military power and abandoning our superpower role, because he thinks that's the right way to do. That if America just becomes just another country, that will be better for our long-term national security. And I think that the global chaos that's resulting, which so closely resembles the chaos that existed before World War I, for example, should be a clear sign to any thinking person that knows anything about history that we're going in the wrong direction if we want to avoid another world war.
Right, right. Well, if that doesn't wake you up, I don't know what does. But thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge with us, and you're incredible. And I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to meet you this week and this weekend. And thank you for coming to the gala event. But more importantly, thank you for sharing your time and your knowledge and just being here with me and to speak to our viewers today about everything. I'm very grateful for that.
Well, I'm very grateful for this opportunity to speak directly to the American people and for you to provide me with a podium to say these things and to try to do what I can to raise the warning. Just by knowing and just by telling the American people these things, and now that they know, since we are a democracy, everybody who hears these facts now becomes part of the solution.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for watching our Wake Up America Media Network Webathon. Continue watching. Have a great day.